In between, when we film, there's no conversation. There is no reaching out, or even last night, like we spent the whole night talking and chatting with everyone, and there was never any indication of him wanting to have a conversation. So it doesn't seem authentic.
Am I the only one who's frustrated by Orion? The fact that he doesn't talk to his wife when they're off camera, and suddenly when he's on camera, he's talking about mending bridges and, working on their relationship. I did not come into the experiment to look for a friend. I came to look for a husband. So, buddy, keep it moving. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, share, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 17. Not sure whether it's because I've watched too much Married at First Sight, or maybe it's because I've previously seen spouses fall in love with other people's spouses. So I'm very curious when Claire holds the phone very tightly to her ear when Brennan calls, and it's like, well, if there's nothing there, you shouldn't be that nervous. She looked anxious, and it's like, are you afraid he's going to say then? Are you too up to no good? Anyway, I digress. So Brennan lets everyone know that, Emily's been involved in this accident. She sustained a head wound, so they're waiting for her to get stitches, but there's no serious sort of damage and there's no serious sort of complications from the accident, which I think was a relief for everybody. So it was good to see that he stayed with her at the hospital. It seemed the whole day from the time they arrived until maybe she left. They were still at the hospital. And so I hope, if nothing else, this brings them closer. She's talking about, an accident like this shows you who someone really is. And it's like, I wish he actually appreciated Emily for who she is, because she has shown that she's willing to do the work. She is a warrior and will continue to fight for her marriage. And sadly, she's been involved in this accident. She didn't throw a fit. She didn't throw a tantrum. You'd have expected her to be screaming, kicking and shouting and having people wait on her hand and foot, but she really took it like a champ, and I really appreciate her for that. You have Michael and Chloe preparing for the couples retreat. And it's like Michael's fashion sense. I can see how Chloe feels some type of way, because it's a bit strange for him to be wearing this skirt when, she is sort of wearing jeans, and she mocks him for that. She says, I don't think any other husband will be dressed the same way. And he is talking about the fact that, you'll be surprised that some husband will be there also in a skirt. And she says, well, I'm willing to bet anything that no, that won't happen. And so for me, I don't know. I hope Chloe is open to the idea of knowing who Michael is as a full person. And I hope Michael also appreciates the fact that Chloe might not understand his fashion sense, so you might need to tone that down a bit until she's more comfortable around him and she knows who he is as a person. So they get ready and leave for the couples retreat. Becca and Austin, oh my god, if I hear them talk about this physical intimacy anymore, I'm going to scream. Apparently Becca is not feeling well, so she's not able to get out of bed, but you have Austin bring her something to eat while she's in bed, and he talks about the fact that, we're going to continue to work on our physical intimacy. And it's like, oh god, this is what you've been saying from day one. Can we stop? Just say you're not attracted to her. It's okay, she will take it, than you wasting her time and pretending like there's something when there's nothing there. So Michael and Chloe arrive to the retreat, and it's very awkward. I'm not going to lie, for someone like Chloe to come into the group. One, because everybody already knows one another. Two, the fact that some of the couples are divorced, so there is that tension there. And they sit down for dinner, and then you have Orion. Orion gets on my last nerve, and I'm here for Lawrence showing him that if you F around, you're going to find out. The fact that, he talks to her on camera like he's making amends. He wants their relationship to grow. He wants to be on a friendship basis. And then once the camera turns off, he goes away and he doesn't acknowledge her until the next time they're in front of the camera. So I'm here for, he's talking about, Lauren and I had a lot of tension at the start. We broke up 10 days after we got married, but now we are at a stage whereby we're trying to build a friendship. relationship. And I'm here for Lauren not entertaining that and not encouraging that, because how dare he make a fool out of her? He made it seem like she was a racist, she was a bigot, and, she said all these malicious things. And then suddenly, in front of everybody, he's pretending that everything is good. They've moved on, they've mended bridges. And it's like, please do what you did the first time. So whatever you did with your chest the first time, continue with that speed. Don't pretend like things are okay. Don't pretend like, nothing went wrong between the two of us. You called me names and you said I did something when I didn't. You exaggerated something. Now in front of everybody, you want to pretend like everything is over. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to continue the same way we were the first time. You have Emily going to theatre to get her wound stitched up, and Brendan is sort of asking her, do you want to go back to the resort or do you want to go back to your place? And it's like, be a bit more empathetic, be a bit more caring towards her now that she's in a time of need. Obviously, she's going to appreciate the fact that you stayed with her, but at least be more empathetic. Don't be robotic. I don't think that's necessary. This couple's retreat is very awkward. I don't even know why the producers went for it, because they play games about, about their childhood and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, this is the most awkward thing ever. Why are we pushing for this? These people don't seem to really like one another. They seem very uncomfortable around each other. So why are we forcing them into scenarios that make them even more uncomfortable? You have Chloe sort of mentioned that she spilled some alcohol on someone from Good Charlotte, and they're sort of asking her, how did you come to be around that person? And she's very vague in her sort of explanation, and it's like, hey, to each their own, but we would want to know, really, just the people want to know, how did you get there? And Michael is sort of saying, yeah, it is a bit strange that my wife has been around these celebrities, but hey, it is what it is. I'm game. And I don't think he's very judgmental, Michael. I think Michael just wants someone who loves him and someone he loves and, and can build a relationship with and start a family with, even though he said he's open to adoption and stuff. So it was good to see that he wasn't very judgmental. I think if it was someone like Orion, then they would have been issues, because he's very judgmental. He likes to judge people and sort of have these opinions and everything else. So I don't know, we'll see how it plays out, but that was a cute game. Am I the only one who's confused with Orion? Every time we see him, he wants to sort of present a united front with Lauren, and yet when they were married, he didn't. And Lauren is right to say that. And so for him to come on camera and sort of say, oh, you and I should have been as a couple and we should have told everybody about the problems we had. No, I felt our problems could be dealt with. You decided you didn't want teamwork and you wanted out of this marriage. So you need to tell everybody what happened, because you're the one who decided to end it. Why should I tag team with you to paint this rosy picture or to paint the struggles that we went through when I didn't feel we worked like a team? And even after the marriage, we didn't work like a team. And Lauren even said it on after party. She said, Orion, every time we're on camera, he talks about us uniting, mending bridges. And then once the camera's turned off, that's it. I don't hear from him until the next time. I have, very bad feelings for Orion, in the sense that he painted his wife in a negative way. He exaggerated the comments that she made, whether or not she made them knowingly. But Lauren said she didn't know, and she actually apologized immediately when she realized what she had done. And he wouldn't take the apology and went on to say that she had offended all the Native American people, and as though that was her intention. Now for him to come on camera without apologizing to her and say, oh, you and I should be a united front, we should present a united front, we should discuss our marriage in front of people. Why should we discuss our marriage in front of people? If they want to see what we went through, they can watch Married at First Sight. I don't need to help you paint, whatever picture or narrative that you're trying to set for yourself. I think Orion went home. His family told him how badly he had behaved, because I remember he said his sister said, he judged his wife negatively. And so because he knows that he came across very badly, he is now trying to sort of change the narrative of himself on the show. And it's too late. And I give Lauren credit for not feeding into that monster. And then you have Emily come back. Oh, she's so sweet. one thing I like about Emily is she's always going to have a smile on her face, no matter how negative things are. She's one of those people that always see the good in things, and even Lauren acknowledged this. I hope Brennan realizes what he has before it's too late. And I think it's too late. I think he's moved on. I have a feeling that I don't like his body language around Claire. I'm sorry if I'm reading wrongly into this, but I have a feeling he might be seeing one of the other wives, or he might be back with his ex. Something is not right with Brennan. And then Becca is still sick. She's still in bed. She says she's vomiting, and it's sad. It's really sad. I don't know why they didn't take her to hospital or why they didn't take her back home. Maybe they needed Austin to sort of make up for the number of people in the house. So in the morning, you have the guys playing poker or whatever they were playing, and the girls were sort of having a spa day. And it was cute to see, them just talk about the previous day's events. Obviously, Emily and Brennan have been through Emily's trauma, and they're sort of trying to sort of recover from that. And Brennan is trying to be as supportive as he can, and Emily acknowledges this, which is good. You then have Lauren. Apparently, she set up a yoga session for everyone. Austin decided to come with his toast. Hey, to each their own. And so it was cute to see everybody actually put in 100%. And at one point, Brennan had to tell Emily to stop because she was sort of leaning forward, and he was telling her, you're not supposed to do that. So it's good to see that he is still concerned about her. He might not want to be in a romantic relationship, but at least he is concerned about her on a human level. So that was cute. And then they went around and sort of were discussing how they might show compassion. And I am happy for Lauren because she's decided to set boundaries with Orion. She's decided not to entertain him or his nonsense in group settings. So she spoke about giving herself compassion first before anybody else. And I think Orion thought she was going to say something about him. And then he had to jump in and, I'm going to try and open up lines of communication with Lauren and make sure that I keep in contact with FaceTime, text. I was like, oh my God, keep it moving. We are really not interested, and we're not here for that. And we're not buying whatever nonsense you're trying to sell. It's nice to see that the couples are really trying to do some sort of activities together as a group. I think this really helps, especially given the fact that two of the wives are not feeling well. You had the conversation between Becca and Austin. I don't know who their producer is, but they need to stop. They really need to stop with this intimacy thing. There must be other things going on in this marriage outside of the fact that they're not having sex. We've heard enough about their sex life. Can we move on to something else? So the whole group went to a Ninja Nation sort of training camp, and it was interesting to see how well the husbands did and how well the wives did. Brennan, I still feel there's something going on between him and Claire. I don't know what it is, but I didn't like the way he was looking at her sort of admiringly when she was sort of tackling some of the tasks. Poor Emily was there. She was there with Becca. They were cheering everybody on. And it's one thing about Emily is she's always going to have a smile on her face. She's always going to smile. I think it will take a lot to make her sort of not see the positive in something. Even with this accident, she still sees the positive. I don't get why Brennan says, we've been through a traumatic time. I don't know whether their producer is the one now pushing them to sort of go on this narrative of how they've risen from the ashes. I don't like that. It was interesting to see Michael sort of dominate the challenges and how well he did with that. And even his wife, Chloe, said she was actually very, very impressed because she never expected him to be that good. And even though at times he embraces his feminine side, he was still way better at the challenges than those people that always sort of present as this strong macho man. So that was good to see. And even Chloe appreciated this, which was interesting. And so I don't get why they needed another debrief after the challenges, and you had to go on with Austin talking about he's going to be more romantic. You had Brennan talking about the traumatic accident from, and how they were coping with it as a couple. And it's like, oh my God, can we move on? We've heard enough, please. Oh my God. So all we've had with this, getaway is, Emily has had the accident. And so she's, really relied on Brennan to sort of help get her back to good health. You have Becca and Austin. Austin on the first night, he walked out of the bedroom, and then Becca's been sick for a couple of days, and then when she's felt better, all they've spoken about is their intimacy. And it's like, please, I I would rather, deal with Brennan than have Austin, who pretends to like me and yet is refusing to be intimate with me. I think he needs to be honest with his wife and tell her the truth. Does he love her? Does he feel, like he's attracted to her? Does he see a future for them? Because for him to continue to go around in circles is not doing her any great service. It's actually infuriating and upsetting for her, and it's not, something you'd want for your worst enemy. So he needs to be honest with his wife. He needs to tell her the truth. And them going to see those, Fox and whatever, oh god, that's not my thing. I know. It is what it is. You have Orion trying, going on this world tour to revamp his character because he knows he behaved like a jackass at the start of his marriage, and he's trying to, mend bridges. And it's like, we're mending bridges to be what? To be friends. I don't need friends. I've got enough friends. I don't need you. And I think Lauren, this is what she should have told him, that I'm sorry, but I came into the process looking for a husband. I didn't come in looking for a friend. And so because our marriage failed, I would rather we just part company. If we have to be in social groups, we'll be cordial, but otherwise that's it. And she needs to move on. As for Cameron, I think he's not buying whatever Claire was selling, and so he's refused to film at all, and he's sort of stayed behind his illness and decided to sort of rock with that and, not participate in this charade of he's in a marriage when he's unhappy. And then Claire, I don't even know why she was at the couples retreat. I don't know. I really don't know. Outside of she was just filling up space and giving them something to air. Otherwise, she should have stayed at home. I'm really not a fan of Claire. And then Michael and Chloe. I don't know. I think Chloe, they seem to be doing great, even though there's a clip that, things are going to fall apart, which is to be expected because people become overwhelmed in the process, which would be sad for Michael because he's really gone through a lot with, the first match and now having to go through a lot with Chloe. I don't think anyone deserves that. With Chloe and Michael, I think the thing is, Chloe has to make a decision. She has to decide, does she want someone who's going to treat her with love, care, compassion, and empathy, or does she want a manly man? Because I think I would rather take Michael any day over someone like Brennan and his way of playing mind games, Austin telling me he loves me, but he's not attracted to me, or he's not making any moves to show that he's attracted to me, or Cameron who dumps me, or, Orion and his stupid games. So I think she has to ask herself, what do I want in a marriage and what do I want in a husband? And depending on that, then she can make her mind about Michael. I think Michael is amazing. Yes, his fashion sense might be a bit off-putting for people, but then I think the qualities that he comes with far outweigh whatever he wears. So that's just my opinion. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 16. Bye guys.